It's the first day of 2025, and what better way to start the year than to return to my dead Squad Busters channel. Let's take a look at the top characters in the current meta. It feels so good to be back. Alright, so the first character we're going to be talking about is going to be Mavis. Now, Mavis is actually a much better supplier ever since her buff. Mavis can now find gems and carrot patches in her baby form along with coins as usual. This makes her better because now you can at least get gems with coins, so it's more worthwhile picking carrot patches. Before, it wasn't worth wasting time picking carrot patches because of how long it took and how little coins you would get. Now, Mavis is still pretty slow at picking carrots, but it's gonna be a lot faster if you can at least get a fusion Mavis. Just like Greg, I would recommend that you get a fusion Mavis so that it won't take you as long to fully pick a carrot patch. Obviously, you want to be as quick as possible, but also be picking the entire patch to get that extra loot. Now, if you have it, it's great if you have Mavis' super form so you can heal every single time you fully pick a carrot patch. Mavis can actually be an underrated healer because she'll be able to heal up your entire squad whenever picking carrot patches when you at least have her super evolution. Unlike a character like the medic where you only heal one character at a time, this would make Mavis more efficient. Alright, the next character we're going to be talking about is going to be Greg. Now, it's great to have at least one Greg so that in case there are no monsters nearby, then you can just run to a nearby tree to stay busy and get loot that way. Sometimes you will get pressured out of mid or just not have the strongest squad, so it may be better to just run to the outskirts of the map and chop trees to hopefully stay above 5th place. Sometimes you're just unlucky and you gotta do what you gotta do to not lose. Now, I would always recommend that you go for a fusion Greg whenever you can throughout the match. The main reason is because Greg can one-shot trees as a fusion and he has a lot more health. Considering that he is a common character, it shouldn't be too difficult to achieve. This would just make getting gems more efficient by chopping trees, and time is truly of the essence in a game like Squad Busters. But just in general, Greg will be pretty good inside the meta because getting loot from trees is just better than it ever was before. Especially when you can combine Greg with the trader, then the amount of coins that you'll get from the trees will also speed up the trader giving you gems. This will ultimately help you get more coins and gems to help you place higher in the game or open up more chests, which will help you get a stronger squad. Alright guys, the next character we're going to be talking about is going to be the Bandit. Now, the Bandit is a great character with moderate health and high damage. With her ability to deal quite a bit of damage from close up, it helps your squad take down other squads or monsters much faster. No matter if you have her baby, classic, super, or ultra form, she's going to be giving you those juicy gems to help you place higher throughout the game. Especially since the Bandit has been getting buffs the past couple of balance changes, I mean, she is the strongest she's ever been. When she got a buff to drop more gems in a fusion, dropping 15 gems instead of 10 during her super, and getting her damage increased from 180 to 190, that has all helped the Bandit rise in the meta. Without these buffs, there's no way the Bandit will be making it into this list. Now, without a doubt, Bandit is probably one of the best suppliers you can use in the entire game. Bandit is a great character to rely on getting consistent gems whenever you're taking down big monsters throughout the match. Eventually, when you are later on in the match and have built up a pretty powerful squad, you're going to be melting down those big monsters like they are nothing and getting a lot of gems along the way. Alright guys, the next character we're going to be talking about is going to be Tank. Now, Tank is easily considered to be one of the best units throughout all of Squad Busters. Being able to take control of the vehicles that are found throughout the map is completely broken. The vehicles have a lot of health to help you tank shots for your squad, and of course they can deal a lot of damage as well. Now, one of the reasons you should be using Tank is because she's actually a pretty good counter to the Hog Rider. When she is in her vehicle, she will burn all grass that she walks through, effectively preventing the Hog Rider from freely activating his abilities and will force him to consume stored turbo to activate them. This does suck if you are running the Hog Rider, so just beware of that. Now, Tank is still very strong because of the buffs that she received a couple of months ago. The devs actually buffed Tank's health from 1400 to 1800, and they also increased her vehicle's health from 3500 to 4000. This just makes it that much harder to take down Tank when she's in her vehicle, so you need to be using Tank and getting her in that tank as soon as possible. Alright guys, the next character we're going to be talking about is going to be B. Now, B is a great damage dealer even though she doesn't have a lot of health. B is very effective against enemy squads as the rotating bees will constantly hit them, which will accumulate enough damage to weaken them and then get them defeated by standard attacks from other characters. As long as you can get those hives and get those bees circling your squad, you are gonna cook. Now, if you have B, I mean, it's so clutch if you have her super form already. This is mostly because in her super form, she can keep the bees for the rest of the battle, which is amazing. You won't ever have to worry about them disappearing and needing to go and run to the nearest hive. It's also just gonna help you do more damage and make your squad a lot stronger. Now if possible, I really recommend that you go and get a fusion B if you can, because B's fusion is pretty damn good since it will increase her health to 4200, her new damage output will be 440, and she now gets a hive that will double the amount of B she has thanks to her fusion perk. If you can get a fusion B, man, you're going to be looking pretty damn good for the victory. Alright guys, the next character we're going to be talking about is going to be the Trader. Now ever since the Trader got buffs where he gives more gems in all of his forms, he is now one of the most valuable characters you can have in your squads. Since you need gems in order to place higher in the matches and also to progress throughout the gem pass, you need to have the Trader to get more gems. It's also good to just run around killing smaller monsters to get coins and then convert those into gems. Now if you can, I do recommend that you go and get a fusion Trader because man, it is so broken. Not only will you get an increase of 4000 health if you form a fusion, you will also be able to double your damage, and with your fusion perk, you can give more gems more often. Since you have a pretty good chance of stacking up on traders at the early stages of the match, since he is a common character, it would be nice to stack up on those traders for the end game. Now even though the Trader is going to be great for getting gems, you still want to be building a balanced squad. Just don't go totally crazy with getting traders because they are just suppliers. Like, you still need characters from the other classes to form well-rounded squads. The Trader is not good for offense or defense, so you need to have good damage dealing units and good defender units to keep the Trader alive. Alright guys, the next character we're going to be talking about is going to be Ruffs. Now Ruffs could be argued as one of the top characters in the entire game. With his ability, Ruffs can raise the damage of all fuse characters in his squad, including the one that will be promoted to a fuse character by his baby ability. The damage boost can stack up to 9 Chrono Ruffs for a total of a 30% damage boost. Now as you can imagine, Ruffs will synergize very well with the Archer Queen. Since he is ranged, he will benefit from the Archer Queen's attack speed boost and along with the damage boost from his Ultra ability. This synergy will be able to output a lot of damage or create a very powerful fuse range character that will shred through the enemies. And just the cherry on top of everything, I mean, he was buffed in the recent set of balance changes. Ruff's health was increased from 1700 to 1800 and his damage was increased from 235 to 250. Ruffs can already deal a lot of damage from a distance, and giving him a health buff just seems crazy, right? With how strong Ruffs is right now, you need to be having him inside of your squad. Alright guys, the next character we're going to be talking about is going to be the Archer Queen. Now it's important to keep your Archer Queen alive because she is essential to increasing the attack speed of your range units. Most of the range units like B and Tank are the ones that are going to be dealing the majority of the damage for your squad, right? So why wouldn't you want to increase the attack speed of the characters that are dealing the most amount of damage for your squad? Now the Archer Queen has had quite the balance changes to her that just makes her even stronger now. Her health was increased from 1600 to 1700, her damage was increased from 52 to 63, and her ability damage in her classic form was increased from 222 to 243. Although she did receive a nerf to her attack speed boost in her baby form similar to the Barbarian King, she is still one of the best characters in the entire game. Now one of the best things about the Archer Queen is her classic form. With the Archer Queen's exploding arrows, it is a lethal starting attack when engaging against other squads that cannot do anything while your team gets an advantage over them. Dealing that 220 damage, knocking them back, and stunning them for a second could be a difference maker to taking down some of their units. Alright guys, the next character we're going to be talking about is going to be the Hog Rider. Now the Hog Rider is absolutely goated inside of squad busters. Being able to replenish your speed boost every time you run through a bush is clutch to making sure you can either chase down the enemy squads or to escape them. I'd recommend going for Fusion Hog Rider because the fusion perk allows the turbo to recover even faster in grass, so this should just help you maintain your boost throughout the match even more efficiently. Now yes, the only downside with the Hog Rider is you need bushes near you in order to replenish your turbo boost, because if not, yeah, you're pretty much cooked. This is kind of unfortunate if you're running around the map and there aren't really any bushes near you, especially if you're trying to escape enemies and there are no bushes around you, then you're gonna run out of turbos and die. Like, that is so unfortunate. Now even if you have 10 Fusion Hog Riders, that won't mean a damn thing if you don't go and collect more turbo boots. Like, it is important to have the Hog Rider so you can replenish your turbos faster, but you also need to hunt around the map for turbo boots. This way the maximum number of turbos you can charge up will also increase. You need to get more turbo boots so when you run through your bushes and recharge your turbo, you want to have as much turbo boots as possible so it takes longer for it to run out. Alright guys, the next character we're going to be talking about is going to be the Barbarian King. Now the Barb King is a fantastic tank with over 3000 health to shield your squad. The super form just makes the Barbarian King even stronger because you won't need any healing units in order for the Barbarian King to heal up. This will also make it easier for the Barbarian King to stay alive since he is essentially essential to increasing the attack speed of your melee units. Now, even though the Barbarian King was nerfed recently, he is still going to be pretty damn good. The baby Barbarian King ability's attack speed boost was decreased from 118% to 83%. This is quite a hefty nerf that affects an important part to the Barbarian King's kit, but it is still going to be good to give your squad that attack speed increase so they can deal damage more efficiently. Now, without a doubt, the Barbarian King is probably one of, if not the greatest defender unit that you can have inside of Squad Busters. It's important that he stays alive since he will probably be your primary tank to protect your squad throughout the match. He has over 4,000 health as a single unit, but can have over 12,000 health when in his fusion state. If you can get a fusion Barbarian King, you gotta go for it. Well, anyway guys, if you guys enjoyed that video, I highly recommend you guys go check out this video right here.